name is Ada Woodson Adams, and today's date is August 19th, 2006. I am interviewing Sherlene Bass and for the African American Presence in the Ohio River Valley Oral History Project. Hi Sherlene, how you doing today?
Fine.
Good. I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and you can just answer as free as you would like to and how you would like to.
All right.
Okay. What is your full name?
It's Sherlene Allender Bass.
And how do you spell Allender?
Allender.
Okay. And Sherlene, where were you born?
Zanesville, Ohio.
And can you give me the year?
November 6, 1935.
Was that a good year?
Yeah.
Are you married?
No, at the present time I'm divorced.
Okay. And do you have children?
I have 4.
And their names are?
Teresa, Lisa, David, and Vaughn Jr.
Okay. And what was your mother's name?
Her name was Bessie Wadiker. That's Waderker.
Okay. And your father's name was?
John Allender.
Okay. Can you tell me something about where your father was born?
Here in this area, I think they called it Constitution or something like that. I'm not sure.
About what year was he born?
Oh, let's see. 1908.
And your mother, where was she born?
She was born in the same area, and her birth date was, she was born in 1911.
Okay. Now, you were born in Zanesville, Ohio. Did you live and grow up in Zanesville?
No.
Where did you grow up?
Well, most of my growing up days was spent right here on Barnett Ridge. I was in Zanesville when I first was born, and we went to East Liverpool, Ohio, and stayed there until I was, I think, 7 or 8 years old. And then we moved back here, just up the road from the church here. And I lived here until I graduated from high school.
Okay. Why did your dad go to East Liverpool?
Work.
What kind of work did he do?
He worked in mills, steel mills in Midland, Pennsylvania.
And what brought him to back to Barnett Ridge?
I'm not sure why they moved back here. I know I didn't want to in the beginning, and I didn't like it too well while I lived here, but now I love it. After you get away from it, you get kind of like it.
What, when you came back here to Barnett Ridge, where did you go to school?
At Barlow. It was Barlow Local over in Barlow, Ohio. And then high school, I went to school in Vincent, and that's where I graduated from, 1954.
And what was it like living on the ridge here?
Lonely, because there weren't too many people around, you know. Most of the people that lived here were elderly people, a lot older than me, and there weren't too many younger people around. The only time I saw them was at school, or if we went skating on Friday nights, I'd get to see them, and different things at the school activities.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I have one brother and one sister.
And who's first?
I'm the oldest, and then my brother, and then my sister.
And what's your brother's name?
Edward Allender.
And what year was he born?
I knew you was going to ask me this. 1938, I think. He's about 3.5 years younger than I am, and I was born in 35, so it's about 38, I think. And my sister, she was born in 1942, I believe. Early 1940s anyway. I don't know exactly what year.
Are they living today?
Yes,
What do you like about Barnett Ridge now that you've grown up?
It's just so peaceful. It's I come back here and sometimes and just go in the cemetery and walk around and look at the tombstones, and it's just, it's just history for me, because a lot of the people, or most of the people in the cemetery are relation. So
Where do you live now?
I live in Belpre right now, but I'm getting ready to go back to Columbus, Ohio. So
And how long have you lived in Belfry?
I've been down here 6 years.
Do you feel that, what was it like for you growing up, besides the loneliness of living on the ridge? What was it like living in your family? What was your household family like?
I don't know. We did a lot of things together, and then I had the Barnetts lived right close to me, a couple families, and the Harveys lived close, and it wasn't as lonely as I think it was. Now that I think back, it wasn't quite that bad, because I did a lot of things at school, and it kept me busy. And I had, in the summertime, I had flowers. I had beautiful flowers that I raised, and then I played trumpet in the band, and I was always playing that. People could hear me for miles and miles around when I got on the horn. They knew I was practicing, so it wasn't quite as lonesome. And then we had a lot of company, so.
Did you do things together? The families do things together?
Yes,
And what did they do?
a lot of fishing. My mom fished and hunted both. I didn't do any hunting. I don't care for guns, but she was pretty good marksmanship, and my brother and my sister didn't do too much. She was too young, I guess, because I'm about 7.5 years older than her, so I was gone before she even got grown almost. But we did a lot of fishing. We used to go camping up in Lowell, and we did that when we lived in East Liverpool. We'd come down for a week in the summertime and camp up there. Of course, we had a cabin, but we used to catch some pretty good sized fish.
So, who taught your mother how to shoot a gun?
You know what? I don't know. I guess her father, I suppose, did, or I don't know whether her mother did or not. I don't really remember her mother that well, because she died when I was still kind of young. But her father lived, for quite some times. Matter of fact, his birthday used to fall on Barnett Ridge Picnic Day. It's the 17th, and my daughter was born on the 17th, so it, brings back a lot of memories, because they used to have birthday cakes for him. But he's been gone quite a few years now. So.
What was his name?
Hazel Wadiker.
That was her mother's name?
My grandmother's name was Cora Martini.
How do you spell Martini?
I think it's Martina.
And your grandfather's name again was?
Hazel Wadiker.
And how did he spell Hazel?
Hazel.
That's an unusual first name for a male.
For a man, uh-huh.
Did he ever explain to you how you got the name Hazel?
No. I don't know. I know my mother's name was Bessie, and her middle name was Brazil. And she got that name because of her uncle or somebody lived in Brazil on a plantation, and they named her Bessie Brazil, which I thought was kind of odd, but I never heard anybody else's name being Brazil. But
now, can you tell, that was your grandmother's family was born in Brazil on a plantation?
no, they weren't born there. It was just a relative, an uncle, I think, that moved there. I didn't know him. I don't know whether my mother even knew him. They just named her Brazil because he was down there. So, but none of my people, I don't think, lived there.
Do you know where your grandfather was born?
Hazel. I'm not sure, but I'm probably around here too. I think the whole family come from around here. Both on both sides, my mom and my dad. So.
What kind of hunting animals did your mother shoot?
Anything that got in her way. She went out one day with a 410 rifle or a shotgun, whatever it is. She come back. She had 3 shells, and she used all 3 of them, and she got something with all 3 of them. She got a groundhog, a black snake, and something, I forget what else it was that she got, but she shot all three of them.
And did the family eat it?
They eat the groundhog,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what she did with the snake, and I don't know, I forget what else it was she shot, but it was something else that she shot, and she got all three of them.
So,
I remember her telling about that. So,
did she have any other hunting stories to share with you?
no, not really. She didn't really do that much hunting. It was mostly fishing. We did a lot of fishing, and I still do. So,
Did the family's food consist of a lot of animals from the woods, or?
well, they ate a lot of rabbits and squirrels, groundhogs, and deer, and then we always butchered a pig, and sometimes we'd have a steer that they would, butcher. So, and then we grew most of our vegetables. So, most of our food, we raised most of our food or got it hunting. We never went out of food. Was never hungry. We might not have had any money, but we didn't go hungry. So my mom baked bread, and so we always had, bread. And we had cows, and we milked. We had chickens for the eggs, and so we was pretty self-sufficient.
What kind of chores did you have to do?
Oh boy, since I was the oldest, I did a lot. I used to mow the grass in the yard, plus I run the tractor and mowed the grass in the fields. And then we had to rake it up with the rake, and then we had to throw it up on the wagon, and then take it to the barn and put it up in the barn in the hayloft. And of course I milked the cows, and we sold milk to Broughton's Dairy at one time, and we had to put the milk in cans, those 10-gallon cans, and of course we had to put them in a cooler to keep them all week, because they only picked the milk up once a week. And I had to lift those big cans up and put them down in the cooler. So I was a pretty strong girl when I was coming up, and I think I'm paying for it too.
Did you have chickens and things like that?
Yes,
too?
we had eggs, and we raised chickens, and then we had eggs. We sold eggs. I even sold flowers. Around Memorial Day, I had a great big long row of peonies, and they were so pretty, and people would come by and buy them to put on the cemetery. So I made a little money, on the side too, not just what my mom and dad made.
What other? You said you played the trumpet, and
Uh-huh.
so did you have play in school band?
Yes, I was first chair soloist in the band, and I was first chair soloist in the all-county band. I was pretty proud of that, because I didn't start playing until I was in I think seventh or eighth grade. I started playing, but I really liked it, and when you like something, you strive to do as best you can, and I got to be pretty good. So, but we was in all kind of parades and different things where the band played. And matter of fact, I think, if I recall, I think I was the only black person in the band. I did a lot of things. There weren't that many black kids in our school at the time. I think my class, we had 5, and I was president of my senior class, and I did a lot of things. I was a cheerleader. I was in the mixed chorus. I was in a glee club. I just did things. I didn't want to be not busy, and my grades could have been better, but I got through, with pretty good. And when I graduated from high school, my principal, Lauren Weinstock, gave me one of the best letters of recommendation that anybody could have gotten. I mean, I don't know whether you knew Joe Barnett or not. Joe thought that was great. I mean, he thought I was pretty good because I did so much, I took part in so many different things. So, and my class that I graduated with in 1954 was a real close class. And to this day, we meet once a month in Shoney's in Marietta and have lunch. And we was just there Wednesday. I think there was 17 class members. We had maybe, there was 42 of us that started when we started in the 7th grade. And when we graduated, I think there was 45. We had maybe 42 when we graduated. And out of that 42, I think there probably is maybe 10 that's passed. And sometimes when we have these luncheons, we have quite a few. When we had our 50th class reunion, there was, I think, 26 out of maybe 32. So we're still, we're a real close class. We kept in touch with each other. A lot of them still live around here. And I don't know, we just have a bunch of fun. We're just like we were when we were in school. We get together and we start running our mouths, and the guys come, and they, everybody enjoys themselves. It's really, everybody can't get over how good, we get along and how we've stuck together all these years. Because we've been out of school now 53 years, I think. So, we've done.
Speaking of how well you got along together, did you have any incidents when you were growing up here on the ridge at school that you would
At school, I had one incident, and after that, we never had any problems. That was when a lot of people were moving over here from West Virginia. And of course, at that time, they were still very prejudiced because West Virginia was still segregated at the time. And I guess they came over here and thought that they could run over top of us. Well, that wasn't going to happen, because I feel that I'm just as good as anybody else. My blood runs through my veins just like it does theirs, and it's the same color. But this girl, she made a mistake and called me a nigger. And that at that time, that was a very derogatory name. And I kind of beat her up a little bit. But we became good friends. We never had any more problems out of it. Nobody had any problems. And we became real good friends. So, it's just, she just had to realize that, hey, this person's just as good as the other person. So that's the way I feel. That's the way I've tried to raise my kids, my grandkids, and everybody. I try to make everybody believe that, but a lot of them don't. So.
Were the teachers pretty fair with all the children?
I think so, because there weren't that many black kids there. And we didn't have any problems. We didn't have any problems at all. I don't remember of having any. Most of the teachers treated me just like they did all the rest of them. Everybody was treated the same. So.
In your family growing up, did your mother and father talk to you about your race or anything like that?
No, not really. I guess I learned more about it after I got out of school and run into my uncle, Oni Wadiker. I took care of him before he died, and he related a lot of things to me as far as our family history. And I wrote it down, and I don't know what I did with it. I'm sorry that I lost it, because he had given me a lot of names and a lot of things, that had happened, in our family. I still have quite a bit, and then Glenn and I went through a lot and did a lot together when he does his genealogy. And so it's, I know pretty much about it. My grandmother on my mother's side, the Martini, I guess she was part Indian. And so, there's difference. We're so mixed up, but you don't know what you are. So if somebody says to me, what nationality are you? I'll say what I look like. And they don't know what to say, and they can't say anything. And then I tell them, I said, well, I'm really Afro-American. I said, but my My father's mother was a white woman. My mother's mother was an Indian, and my father, his great-great-grandfather, was a white man. I said, so you tell me what I am. So I'll be what you want me to be. I'm just me. I don't look at colors. I don't consider colors or anything. I'm just me. And I've always been that way. So, and I think everybody else should be, but you can't get them that way sometimes.
Now, when you say Glenn, what Glenn are you talking about?
Glenn Barnett,
Okay. And
Jr.
Yes, he is. Okay. The other thing is, in, in, in the conversation that you had with Oli Whitaker, did he talk to you about any slaves in the family or any history of plantation ownership?
No, he didn't, but I had a cousin that had, well, they still have it. I don't know whether it was great-great-great-grandfather or something, they have his slave papers.
What's his name?
I don't, it was an Allender, that's all I know. I don't know which one it was, but they said they had the papers for him. But nobody ever said anything. I don't think, Uncle Oni was a school teacher. He went to school, as a matter of fact, he graduated from the same school I did. He graduated twice because the first time he graduated, he didn't have enough time to teach school, so he had to go back and get another diploma. His first diploma, he said, was a sheepskin diploma, so that's been quite a few years ago. So he taught my mother and some of her sisters, so.
Do you know where your Uncle Oni went to school to get his?
He went to Vincent.
Went to Vincent.
Vincent High School.
And then did he have to have a 8th grade education or a 12th grade education to teach?
Well, I think he had, at first he had the 8th grade and he had to go back to school for a couple of years to be able to teach. So.
How long did he teach?
Oh my goodness. I forget, 46 years or 40-some years. He taught at Amesville. He taught up here on Barnett Ridge at the old schoolhouse up here. I think he taught at Constitution, I'm not sure. But he taught several places, but the last place was at Amesville. So.
The slave papers that you were talking about, who would have those now?
My cousin, Garnet, what is her last name? She was an Allender, but I don't know what her last name is now. She'll probably be here today.
Good.
So, but I think she's the one who has them. They had gotten copies made, so I never got a copy, but I said I was going to.
What kind of work did your other grandfather do? Do you know?
Which one?
On your mother's side?
They worked in the stone quarries and just road construction and stuff like that. Okay. It was both my grandfathers, Harvey Allender and Hazel.
And do you know if they talked about the Underground Railroad at all?
No, I never heard anything about that until recent years, and I talked with Henry Burke, and I found out a lot about it through him and through some of his books.
What role did religion play in the family's life?
Well, this was our church, and I grew up in this church. I took care of it when I was a young girl. I did the cleaning and starting the furnace in the winter time. I'd come down on Saturdays and clean and start the furnace and stoke it up so that it would be ready to go in the morning for Sunday school. And I didn't know another church until I left here when I graduated from high school, and then I moved to Columbus and I started going to a Baptist church up there, but this is still my church. I consider it my church.
Do you have any stories that you want to share with us that maybe I have not touched on? Something in your past that you happened?
No, it was a pretty normal I had a pretty normal, life. I haven't had anything really exciting, or except that I've raised my 4 children, 4 grandchildren, and I started raising a great grandchild, and I kept him for 3 years, and then when I lived in Columbus before, my boys, my kids went to one school, my grandchildren went to another, and where my grandchildren went, I became vice president of the booster club there, and I was very involved with school activities. My grandsons played ball, they were in sports, and I was called, well, my kids always called me Nanny, and I was West High's nanny. Everybody in the school, including the teachers, called me Nanny, and I'm still Nanny to all of them. I mean, anytime I see them, I can be going someplace and somebody will holler, Nanny, and I know somebody knows me, but I don't know who it is sometimes. But that was about the most rewarding, coming up with those grandkids and going to games, ball games, and from the time they were little, because I raised them completely, and they're still my kids. They don't belong to their mother, they belong to me.
Now, at that time, was your husband helping you raise these grandchildren?
At one time, not the grandchildren. I raised the grandchildren by myself. He was there for a while with the kids, but he just got too busy. And
so mostly you raised the children?
And the grandchildren, yeah, by myself.
Okay, one of the things I didn't follow up on is that the music, does anyone else in your family have a music interest?
My brother plays guitar, and anything else that you put in front of him, I think he can try it, but he plays the guitar mostly. So, and then of course my cousin Jack, he plays, and my son likes music, but he don't play it, but he does a lot with the DVDs or CDs or whatever it is. He makes a lot of those on his own, and he really likes music, but I think everybody likes music anymore. But other than that, nobody plays.
Where did you get your musical background from?
Oh, I don't know. When my mom's and her sisters all used to sing. They had beautiful voices, but I couldn't sing. I was a cheerleader, and I ruined my voice cheering. But I don't know. When I was, I guess, six or seven, we lived in East Liverpool. My dad started me playing a guitar, Hawaiian guitar, the ones you lay on your lap and use a pick and a bar. I played that, and when I was either 7 or 8, I had license to teach. That's how good I had gotten, because I liked it. But after I moved down here, I just let it go. That's when I started playing the trumpet. So, but other than that, I don't know of any really musical background in my family. They just sang mostly. I don't think anybody else did anything else.
Are there any Martinis left in your family? The name
with the last name? No. All of them, I think, have passed. Yeah, I don't think there's. If there is, I don't know of them.
About 2 more questions. The Martinis, where did they come from?
I don't know. They were around here. I don't know where they came from, but they got in with our families here. So I guess they come here, or they were already here. I don't know.
I'm going to let you pause a minute and just think about. I'm going to close with your last thoughts that you'd like to share with us today.
I wish more people would come to the Barnett Ridge Picnic. It's something that started back, I think, in the 1700s, and it died down. It died out, really, and my cousin Sis and me and her sisters, we thought about getting it started back up, and we started it about 10 or 15 years ago, and it built up, but now it's starting to die down again. They just, I don't know, the younger people just don't seem to, they don't want to do anything. It's just like, we used to have a big square dance after the Barnett Ridge picnic, and everybody would dance. Everybody knew how to square dance. These kids now, they don't even want to dance. They don't won't come to the dances even. So we've stopped having those. So if we could just get more people to come out and kind of support this church, because what a lot of money that's taken up today goes for the church, and it's in need of some repair. The basement is, you know, the walls in the basement are old walls and they do deteriorate. And I think if more people would come, we'd, you know, we could help the church out a lot. So, but if more people would come, I just think it would be great.
Well, I want to thank you very much for your time, and we'll make sure that you get a copy of this, and it'll take us a while.
That's okay.
But,
You got my new address.
Get your new address, yeah.
So,
thank you very much.
and I have your card, so I can always call you and let you know what my phone number is.
All
If you
right.
need, I put my email address on
I
there.
have email too.
Well, so I better
Uh-oh, yeah, we're tight.
take this off, and I don't want to. I can't walk around with this. How you do this?
Let's see.
I think it just clips, doesn't it?
Yeah.
My fingers don't work.
This thing has, mine don't work too good.
Ernie used to teach at the big run school.
Oh, you hold this for a minute.
I don't know.